It's a beautiful day on Dragon Drive, a beautiful day for a dragon. Would you breathe fire? Could you breathe fire? It's a neighborly day on this Davis school, a neighborly day for Davis. Would you breathe fire? Could you breathe fire? I have always wanted to meet a dragon just like you. I've always wanted to be in a school just this cool. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you breathe fire? Could you breathe fire? Won't you be my dragon? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my dragon?
Good morning, dragons. It's January, and you know, January is one of my favorite months. For a lot of reasons, actually. First, it's a new year, and that can mean new beginnings. Second, it's still winter, which means the chances of a snow day are still very high. And third, we celebrate the life and inspiration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This guy. Do you know about Martin Luther King Jr.? I bet you know some things, and I bet you'll learn a little bit about him this month in class. But just in case, I brought a pretty special book to share with you today. It's called Martin's Big Words. And I found it in the library. Let's check it out. Here we go. Everywhere in Martin's hometown, he saw the signs, white only. His mother said these signs were in all southern cities and towns in the United States. Every time Martin read the words, he felt bad, until he remembered what his mother told him. You are as good as anyone. In church, Martin sang hymns. He read from the Bible. He listened to his father preach. These words made him feel good. When I grow up, I'm going to get big words too, said Martin. Martin grew up. He became a minister like his father, and he used the big words he had heard as a child from his parents and from the Bible. Everyone can be great. He studied the teachings of someone called Mahatma Gandhi. He learned how the Indian nation won freedom without ever firing a gun. Martin said love when others said hate. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. He said together when others said separate. He said peace when others said war. Sooner or later, all the people of the world will have to discover a new way to live together. In 1955, on a cold December day in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks was coming home from work. A white man told her to get up from her seat on the bus so he could sit. She said no and was arrested. Montgomery's black citizens learned of her arrest. It made them angry. They decided not to ride the buses until they could sit anywhere they wanted. For 381 days, they walked to work and school and church. They walked in rain and cold and in blistering heat. Martin walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them until the white city leaders had to agree they could sit anywhere they wanted. When the history books are written, someone will say there lived black people who had the courage to stand up for their rights. In the next 10 years, black Americans all over the South protested for equal rights. Martin walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them. White ministers told them to stop. Mayors and governors and police chiefs and judges ordered them to stop, but they kept on marching. Wait. For years I have heard the word wait. We have waited more than 340 years for our rights. They were jailed and beaten and murdered, but they kept on marching. Some black Americans wanted to fight back with their fists. Martin convinced them not to by reminding them the power of love. Love is the key to the problems of the world, he said. Many white Southerners hated and feared Martin's words. A few threatened to kill him and his family. His house was bombed. His brother's house was bombed. But he refused to stop. Remember, if I am stopped, this movement will not be stopped because God is with this movement, said Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The marches continued. More and more Americans listened to Martin's words. He shared his dreams and filled them with hope. He said, I have a dream that one day in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. After 10 years of protests, the lawmakers in Washington voted to end segregation. The white-only signs in the South came down. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. cared about all Americans. He cared about people all over the world, and people all over the world admired him. In 1964, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. He won it because he taught others to fight with words, not with their fists. Martin went wherever people needed help. In April 1968, he went to Memphis, Tennessee, and he went to help garbage collectors who were on strike. He walked with them, and talked with them, and sang with them, and prayed with them. And on his second day there, he was shot, and he died. But his big words are alive for us today. I hope you enjoyed that book and maybe learned something about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You know, our Purposeful People message this month is perseverance. Here's what perseverance means: pushing yourself to work through challenges and obstacles. It's interesting because perseverance isn't just something that naturally happens. It is a quality that requires something to be there to first challenge you. You don't just naturally persevere through things. A person can't really persevere unless there are challenges. You have to actually have an obstacle in your way which successfully stops you in order for you to step up and persevere. Dr. King is an inspiration when it comes to talking about persevering. He fought through many challenges that were scary and intense, yet he kept on going because he believed in something bigger than himself, and he knew that many people were relying on him. The power of believing in overcoming the obstacle that stood in his way, which was racism and hate, was worth all the time and effort it would take to defeat it. He fought so hard and so long and so well that others were inspired and took on the cause for themselves. This meant that when he lost his life, the cause he worked so hard to see through didn't die. It kept on going and even became stronger. But Dr. King stood for something else too, a powerful word called temperance. Temperance basically is self-control. It's about staying focused, restrained, and poised. When we talk about Dr. King fighting for things, he really wasn't fighting. He wasn't fighting like with his fists and with weapons. No, he was championing something. Dr. King was against fighting. He was for standing up for things with words and love and forgiveness. He inspires us to live tempered lives as well, both with one another and when dealing with issues in our country. Today we show temperance in fighting for change through voting. Those who are 18 and older are able to officially make a stand with their voice by voting in our country to make decisions as a community. And someday, you'll get to vote. But you don't have to wait. The power of your voice, good temperance, and the strength of perseverance can start now. Don't be afraid to keep going when things get hard. You can practice now with your schoolwork and with your friends. Schoolwork can be challenging. Step up and practice perseverance. Issues with your friends and other kids can be challenging. Step up and fight for your friendships by seeking understanding, compromise, and forgiveness. Persevere through. Keep on going. Challenges are never a lot of fun, but they always make us stronger when we push through them. As Mando would say, this is the way. Dr. King is celebrated this month because his birthday was on January 15th. He was born in 1929, which means he'd be 94 this year. I think we have a lot to be thankful for due to Dr. King's life. A lot to be thankful for in our own lives, in our communities, and in our nation. It makes sense that we celebrate him in his birthday. He's a person who made a big difference in this world. So this year, we're going to celebrate as a school by making a wish for Dr. King's birthday. Well, this isn't meant to be a regular, normal wish. No, it's meant to be a big wish, a powerful wish, a wish that really means something to us and to one another. So here's what we're going to do. First, you'll each get a paper candle shape. They look like this. Your first job is to write a powerful wish for our future. This isn't a wish for things like you don't want to wish for something like, I wish I could have money to buy an iPhone. No. Or, I wish Blaze had a cat. No. No. This is meant for special life-changing wishes. Maybe things like, I wish for people to find joy in their lives. That's a nice wish. Or, I wish for leaders to solve problems with kindness. That's a nice wish. Those are big wishes that are changing the way that we act and we work with one another. So after you've written your wish, pick a color that best represents your wish. Color your candle that. And when your class is done, you're welcome to come and tape your candles around a special space we've made in the Commons. You'll know it's that space because you'll see Dr. Martin Luther King's picture, maybe even like a birthday cake. This is how we will honor Dr. King's legacy this month. Make it meaningful by taking it to heart. Really be thinking about what your wish is for the world. Dream big, go big, and do good, dragons. Have a great day, and I will see you soon.